Hey guys, my name is Karthik, and today my group will be talking about the reading Glickman chapters 1 and 3. We will be talking about strategies that may help you improve your professionalism, whether it be on a phone call or in the workplace. Many of us work on our own time that we forget that other people work on their own time as well. So when we're doing this, we forget to ask questions like, does the person that we're calling have the time to actually speak with us? Or how do I enable myself to maybe get a call back or stay in contact with said person? Well, the 3-step hello and the 2-step goodbye strategies may help you with these situations. Or you may be wondering how to reach your full potential and work to your best abilities, or how you can create really good relationships around the office. Well, the learn and multiple choice strategies may help you with that. So now I'll pass it on to Mariah, who will be talking about the 3-step hello.
Thank you, Karthik. And so now what I will be talking about is the three-step hello or the three-step hello strategy. And so what this does is it lays the foundation for effective communication or an effective conversation that is both contextualized and very much beneficial for both parties. And so what I mean by that is it's going to have these three components of the who, what, why, and when. And so the first part of that is going to be the introduction. Most people just coast on the fact that there's some prior affiliation, or there was a prior. Basically, they're coasting on the fact that the other person might remember them, know who they are, know them down the grapevine, and really that's not effective because when you're coming into a conversation, you can't assume that someone already knows who you are, knows where you come from, and is keeping up to date on your current social media pages. That's just not realistic. So when you come into the conversation, you need to state who you are and then subsequently what you're going to bring to the table and how you're going to get that done. And so, first off, the introduction again is going to be who. So that's your full name, your affiliation, and referral if you have one. And referrals are really neat because they allow you to set the tone for the conversation before actually entering it. And what I mean by this is, most people when they say that when they're getting a referral or they're being referred by someone, there's already a pre-existing relationship that that person who's using the referral is coming in on. So, say that I give a referral to my friend. Well, the person that I'm referring her to is going to assume, based on the relationship between me and that person, that this is how they should go about treating or acting in this given situation that they're placing themselves in, and that just goes based off the referrals. And then the next step would be the purpose of your call. And this is the what slash why. So this is going to contextualize your call. And in this split moment, you're going to give this person, the other person who you're talking to, the opportunity to understand or see the value, the mutual benefit of really continuing this conversation. And so what that means is you're really gaining insight into why why you even wanted to talk to them, how that's going to align with their values, how that's helping them out. Basically, you're telling that person within, the introduction, within the purpose of your call, within the key question, overall, this is the value that I can add to you to this in this conversation. So this is why I'm going to come in because I want to add that value. And so the last part is really the key question, and this is the when. So this is the timing. They are doing a worth assessment on what you have told them, basically. So with given within the value that you have brought or that you have stated that you can add, the other participant in the conversation is going to do a worth assessment to really see if what they're saying is worth listening to now, worth my time now, or worth my time at a later date. And so this really wraps up the three-step hello strategy and how you can effectively enter a conversation, make it memorable, add value, and really pass that worth assessment. Now I'll be passing it on to Sonia to talk about the two-step goodbye.
Thank you, Mariah, for teaching us how we start off a conversation with the 3-step hello. But what do we do when we're ready to end the conversation? Well, that's where this method comes in, the two-step goodbye. So the two-step goodbye is pretty easy to follow. It consists of thank you and forward momentum. With thank you, it's important to always thank the person you talk to for anything. I know that saying thank you is really easy if you feel like the person's been super helpful. It's a lot easier to say thank you when you feel like you've gotten something from the person. Maybe you were in charge of getting their approval for something and you got it. So you just say thank you and all that. And you mean it like a lot more genuinely than you will if you're a little disappointed. But nonetheless, it's important to say thank you because the person did take time out of their day to talk to you. They did listen to what you had to say and they they took a chance on you. So it is important that we thank them regardless and that you want to leave. And then that leads us into forward momentum, which is the most important part. That's just basically telling them how you plan on following up for in the future. So, for example, as you can see on the PowerPoint, it says, I look forward to staying in touch and working together in the future. That leaves the door open. You always want to tell the person how you plan to follow up. So they're aware, they can start anticipating your call, etc. Um, it's a really good thing. You want to keep this forward momentum because it's just good to have a door open. It's good to have options. Um, maybe you tell them, maybe if you're talking about a meeting you're going to about a proposal that they're interested in, maybe you can tell them, like, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. I'll make sure to follow up and tell you how the meeting goes and what was said. That gives them a how and a when. You're going to tell them about the meeting via phone call and it's going to be after the meeting. You also want to make sure that you use this as a networking opportunity. Even if you don't end up working with the person, it is important to keep a connection with them, as it just helps. You never know when you're going to run into this person again. You could go apply for another company. They could be the hiring manager, they could be your direct supervisor. It's important that you don't burn bridges. You take every chance you can to build a connection, even if it's for a cup of coffee. Like, I'm sorry we're not going to get a chance to work on this together, but maybe we can grab a cup of coffee one day and catch up. It's a really good thing to do. You want to keep networking. It can help you, it can further your career, it can teach you new skills, open new opportunities. So there's a lot going into this two-step goodbye than you really think. And if you implement both of these, this is a really good thing, as it shows you are professional, you're respectful, and it just leaves a positive impression in your mind, in their mind about you. Next up, we're going to have Jesus, and he's going to talk to us about learn.
Thank you, Sanya. So I'm going to be talking about, like she said, LEARN, the acronym. LEARN stands for Learn, Excel, Assist, and you can't see it on this page, but it also stands for Redirect Unwanted Work and Network. So the first one, learn a new skill by introducing yourself proactively into any new team or environment. This kind of the whole model behind this is, if you're going to be working, you may as well be learning. You're getting paid to work, so why not get paid to learn? For example, kind of the whole Goldman Sachs thing. I'm sure all of you know that company. Their motto is that if you're going to be working there, you should be working at the level above you. So if you're an entry level, you should work as if you were an associate, and if you're an associate, as a manager, and so on and so forth. The idea behind this is that you are continuing to better yourself and to learn new skills and to just kind of make yourself, as well as everybody around you, just better as a whole. Another kind of thing you should try to work on is offer to work on something you yourself would like to learn about. This way you learn new skills and that people see that you are taking a proactive sort of approach. Next we're moving on to is Excel. Managers learn very quickly who excels in what, and you yourself should already know what you're good at. You want to do your best to be placed in not only things you want to learn at, but things that you already, excel in. That way, your managers and other people around you see, that you can bring something to the team, that you're very good at a certain task. For example, if you are a really good writer, maybe offer to draft up a memo or edit a report, things like that. Moving on to assist. Assisting others is a great way to make friends and become known around the office. You should offer to help someone with a less desirable task because, everybody has tasks that are tedious and take a long time to do. Maybe it's, been a long day, it's a late work and stuff to write up all these reports. Maybe if you don't have anywhere to be, you offer to help them. Not only does this kind of give you brownie points with them, as they'll like you and also get to know you, but next time you have something that you really don't like working on and that needs to be done, maybe they'll want to offer up their services. And random acts of kindness, these ensure that people really get to know you. You seem spontaneous, and a really helpful person. Again, this could also turn around and benefit you in the future. Somebody could offer to help you with something out of nowhere. So just something to keep in mind. So we're going to move on to redirect unwanted work. Now, the big thing behind this is this does not mean say no to when you're assigned something. You should accept the task, but let your manager know that you would like some additional opportunities in the future. So this way that they kind of get to understand that, okay, you're still going to do your work, but you also want to, try something new, get better at something else. Then this also means to take more of a proactive approach as well. So if there's like a big project coming up or something with teams, you should try to keep an ear out for when that project's going to be assigned. That way you can jump all over it, try to get placed on that. That way, you're doing something you want to do instead of getting assigned work that, you really don't want to do. And finally, something we've all heard before, network. This goes back to the whole, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You need people to know you so you can move up in the workplace. You want to volunteer as much as you can on certain tasks, different projects, try to get on different teams, meet as many people as you can. That way, more people know you, and that when they see your name on a paper, it's not just a name, they can put a face to the name. And this doesn't always mean talking to the main person involved, but you can also take a more indirect approach. For example, if you have like a mentor or someone you work really close with that's a bit higher than you, you talk to them about maybe getting you on, a certain project or a certain team to do something. So that's learn. I'm going to pass it on to Hafsa to talk about the multiple choice strategy.
Thank you, Jesus. My name is Hafsa, and I'll be talking about the multiple choice strategy and how it can help you on the job. So when I think of multiple choice strategy, it kind of sounds like a test, but it's actually anything but. It's just 2 simple points. So the very first point is being proactive. And this is so very important, especially on the job field, because you're prepared and you are always ahead of the game. You being proactive, you can think about possible scenarios that can happen, and with that, there's a little room for error. And also in general, it reduces stress because you know what days are ahead of you and it makes you more self-aware. So an example I can think of is, say at your job you have a new team assigned. Instead of asking a very vague question like, hey, how can I help? It's 10 times better to ask specific questions like, would you like me to put a call with Sonia or help out with the presentation outline? So asking really specific questions and going out of your way to do this, it is easier for someone to take you up on your offer and say, yeah, actually, I would like you to do this, or no, I would not want you to do this because we have different priorities now. So saying that, it also gives you additional insight or information of what is to come, and that makes you more of a go-getter, which is something all employees should be. Another option I have, or the next point, is to offer to do 1 or 2 things. So the example I have below is reach out to Chris to set up a call or or pull the materials together for your review. So this way you are making a compromise with your team member, or you're also giving them the option to choose what you would like them to help out with. So I can relate to this because last summer I interned at a software company or a startup called Advising AI. And it being a startup, there's always plenty of things to be done and priorities are always changing. So one thing I did to be proactive was start a brainstorming session to come up with ideas so we can have new tasks separated between our team. And that way it was a lot easier for each and everyone to know what we can help each other out with. And that is how I use this multiple choice strategy. And I highly, highly encourage it. And I hope this helps you guys. So thank you for listening. And I'm now going to pass it to Karthik to conclude.
Thanks, Hafsa. So in conclusion, it wouldn't hurt to start incorporating these strategies when you're in the workplace or on a professional call. It will only show that you are aware and respect other people's time, which will make you look that much more professional. And some of these strategies will even help you improve on skills and help you get out of your comfort zone, which is probably the best way to learn new things and gain new experiences. Thank you for your time.